How many fingers am I holding up? A white object swam into vision. I said, 2. And how many now? 4. He gave a long, gusty sigh. It looks as though you are going to have unimpaired vision after all. You're a very lucky young man, Mr. Grant. Grant? The man paused. Your name is Grant, isn't it? I thought about it for a long time, and the man assumed I wasn't going to answer him. He said, Come now, if you are not Grant, then who are you? It is then they tell me that I screamed, and they had to administer more drugs. I don't remember screaming. All I remember is the awful, blank feeling when I realized that I didn't know who I was. I have given the story of my rebirth in some detail. It is really astonishing that I lived those many weeks, conscious for a large part of the time, without ever worrying about my personal identity. But all that was explained afterwards by Suskind. Dr. Matthews, the skin specialist, was one of the team which was cobbling me together, and he was the first to realize that there was something more wrong with me than mere physical disability, so Suskind was added to the team. I never called him anything other than Suskind. That's how he introduced himself, and he was never anything else than a good friend. I guess that's what makes a good psychiatrist. When I was on my feet and moving around, outside hospitals we used to go out and drink beer together. I don't know if that's a normal form of psychiatric treatment. I thought head shrinkers stuck pretty firmly to their little padded seat at the head of the couch. But Suskind had his own ways, and he turned out to be a good friend. He came into the darkened room and looked at me. I'm Suskind, he said abruptly. He looked about the room. Dr. Matthews says you can have more light. I think it's a good idea. He walked to the window and drew the curtains. Darkness is bad for the soul. He came back to the bed and stood looking down at me. He had a strong face with a firm jaw and a beak of a nose, but his eyes were incongruously soft and brown, like those of an intelligent ape. He made a curiously disarming gesture and said, Mind if I sit down? I shook my head, so he hooked his foot on a chair and drew it closer. He sat down in a casual manner, his left ankle resting on his right knee, showing a large expanse of sock, patterned jazzily, and 2 inches of hairy leg. How are you feeling? I shook my head. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? When I made no answer, he said, Look, boy, you seem to be in trouble. Now I can't help you if you don't talk to me. I'd had a bad night, the worst in my life. For hours I had struggled with the problem, who am I? And I was no nearer to finding out than when I started. I was worn out and frightened and in no mood to talk to anyone. Suskind began to talk in a soft voice. I don't remember everything he said that first time, but he returned to the theme many times afterwards. It went something like this. Everyone comes up against this problem sometime in his life. He asks himself the fundamentally awkward question, who am I? There are many related questions, too, such as, why am I and why am I here? To the uncaring, the questioning comes late, perhaps only on the deathbed. To the thinking man, this self-questioning comes sooner and has to be resolved in the agony of personal, mental sweat. Out of such self-questioning have come a lot of good things and some not so good.